So 7 years later, New York City is saying goodbye and good riddance to Mayor Bill de Blasio. There is no doubt that he will go down in history as the worst mayor of the Big Apple, leaving New Yorkers with dirty streets, homeless spike, super high crime rates, and enforced vaccine mandates, even on little children just trying to eat a pizza. But don't hold your breath just yet. When the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Eve, Eric Adams is going to stroll into office. What is this going to mean for your city's future? Let's bring in our next guest, former NYPD Commissioner and friend of mine, Bernard Kerik. Commissioner, welcome to the program. So you're the top cop, all right? You have worked hand in hand with mayors. You worked with Rudy Giuliani during 9/11. You understand the dynamic of somebody who served on the force, but also the dynamic working in office now. What do you think of Eric Adams and what's coming out of his administration?
Well, look, I know Eric. Eric was a lieutenant that worked for me. He ran an organization called 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement at the time. I think he may be a different person today than he was back when he was a lieutenant, in that, one, he has seen the city at its best during the renaissance of Giuliani, and he's also seen the city at its worst under de Blasio. Eric Adams also worked for me and Giuliani during the time where we reduced violent crime by 65%, the murder rate by 70%, where we had the highest murder rate in the history of the country and knocked it down over an 8-year period that was unparalleled in this country. Never happened before and hasn't happened since. He knows how that happened. He knows what we did to create it. He knows how to use ComStat. He knows how to use stop, question, and frisk. He knows you need more cops in the street. Everything I'm telling you, he knows. He knows. Now, will he cower to the left and go that route where, he allows governors to implement laws like bail reform, where he allows prosecutors not to prosecute for violent crime? I don't know. I hope not. I hope not.
All right. Well, so you saw him take a tough stance against Black Lives Matter. Okay, look, I work in Manhattan. You're in here all the time, and I want this place to be the best it can be. I remember what it was under Giuliani and you guys and everything you did. That said, he took that tough stance up against Black Lives Matter, and he says, "Look, we're not going to be bullied by you guys, and we're going to be tough on crime." What were your thoughts then?
Well, I thought it's the right thing to do. You can't have a domestic terror group threatening you, telling you what they want and what they're going to do. And if you don't do it, you're going to have blood on your hands. Wrong. You're going to wind up in prison. That's what you're going to wind up doing. Right. And I think that's the stance he's at least expressed. If he holds to that, look, New York City is a big, complicated place, but Rudy Giuliani proved it can be fixed. When we were at the worst in the country's history, over that 8-year period, we did things that nobody ever thought possible. It can get done. We did it. I was a part of it. Eric Adams has the ability to do it. Whether he has the courage to do it and stand up to the left and these radical leftists, these Marxists, that's another thing. Yeah,
ability and willpower are very different in the political lines, as you know. So the latest figures that we've been talking about here on the show is that on-duty police officer deaths has hit a record high this year. And I'd love to know, look, if I could stop all this tomorrow, I would move heaven and earth to do it. But do we, like you said, have the political will to make the steps, because it's going to start with baby steps, to stop this type of thing? Because I am done. I am done. I was, talking on another show earlier today. I am done watching the disrespect of police officers, because those police officers, black, white, blue, green, whatever, at your worst time, when you pick up the phone and call for help, they will be there. And we need to somehow restore that respect back to this. How do we do that?
Well, look, I think these things shift up and down. But you know what happens, Carl? And we realized this back in 1993 before Giuliani came into office. At some point, New York City was about to implode, basically. We were doing 2,200 murders a year, which is more than Atlanta, Chicago, L.A., and Baltimore combined today. So at those times, when it was ready to implode, people said, okay, enough's enough. We're going to elect a Republican and get him in here to fix this. When it's at that point, people want change. When mothers are putting their kids to bed in bathtubs, afraid of random gunfire, they want safety. So at that point, they'll come out and they'll fight for change. That's what they have to do in Chicago, in New York City, in Seattle, in Portland, in Baltimore, and in these other cities. Every one of them run by Democrats.
Yeah, I got about 30 seconds left. But we're seeing the spike of retirement. So we know the vaccine mandates have really hindered this. We know that the political climate has done it. I mean, retirements are up 75% from 2019, 10,000 expected in 2021. We're not adequately staffed in New York, and politics have driven them out. What's your view on what the police force should do at this point?
Well, I think what the mayor is going to have to do is the mayor is going to have to sit with the governor and come away with a few changes in the bail reform policies. He's going to have to work with the prosecutors to make sure they're doing their job. They shouldn't be targeting the cops. They should be targeting the thugs. And then he's going to have to really infuse staffing, resources, manpower into the police department, get them back out in the streets and let them do their jobs. And I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, well, former NYPD Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik, we appreciate you joining us, sir. Good luck.
Carl, thank you.
All right, folks, we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.